Could we rise for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We could remain standing for a moment, as we always do, and remember our men and women in the armed forces. You know, it seems like every 2 weeks we have to talk about a disaster, so besides the hurricanes, we now have the fires, and people are suffering. Thanks. One public service announcement. Tomorrow is the school budget vote. No, what do they call it?
Capital project.
Capital improvement vote, 6 in the morning to 9 at night. At the middle school on Mountain Avenue. Thank you. Any public comment on the agenda items from anyone? Okay, I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna do my report later. New business. You have before you the minutes from our regular meeting on October 2, 2017, and our special meeting that we had on the 5th of October. I have reviewed them, and I find nothing to correct, but can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have a quote that was, went out. I think we had 4 bidders to remove dead trees and some pruning, which need to be done. There was a couple weeks ago, a limb came down and totaled out a guy's car, but the odd thing about it was it wasn't a dead branch. So you have the quotes before you. You have Gary's DPW Street Superintendent's recommendation, which is New York Tree Masters. They'll take the dead trees down and the pruning. Some folks didn't didn't quote on the pruning.
And this particular firm is open to a lot of pruning, like
Yeah.
we can direct them to
Well,
multiple trees.
well, their bid is, they were taken around as to what pruning needs to be done. If there's something more than that they discover, we can talk about it. Is that what you mean? Is
Yeah.
that it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We have a motion.
You're doing this vote, right?
Again now, before the leaves come off, so they can tell which limbs have to be pruned. I don't know if that's gonna help.
Well, this is why we do bids, so I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey to accept the recommendation of Gary Boyce for New York Tree Masters.
Right.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Opposed?
I'm sorry,
No, I said no. No.
no? Okay, so you have that, Gina? Okay. Next, we have a couple of quotes that we went out for electric sockets on the antique streetlights, on the clock, a couple of different places. The reason for this was for Christmas decorating. This particular grant or quote will, once awarded, will come out of the beautification dollars. And the low bid was James Conley. $1,815. is the low bid.
And this also comes out of beautification.
The electric does,
Yeah.
not the tree. Tree
Right,
co-
but this one.
yes, yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the lowest quote, lowest bid.
Motion by trustee Murphy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. Next, we have a quote for the Village Hall water heater. The low quote was $950. Gina, I'm sorry to ask you this, from our discussion this morning, is this remaining the,
The low quote without the engineers added.
oh, okay, that's what I'm, okay,
Yes.
so this is the low quote, okay.
We can't do this in-house?
No.
We did confirm with the building department that we can just do an in-kind replacement. We didn't need any other code things that were missing, so we can just do an in-kind replacement. And this is a low bid for that.
Okay.
And the equipment has a 6-year warranty.
Whatever it says on there.
Usually it's a 10, I know at homes
Yeah.
it is, but is it 6?
6.
6, okay.
And this company is the same one that replaced the sewer break that we had recently, a couple months ago. They did a good job. They had their paperwork in order and cleaned up nicely. They were good to work with.
So let's have a motion to move forward with this here.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, to accept the low bid, CJM Plumbing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. So now why half our audience is here. You have to stay for the whole meeting. No problem, right? Okay, so, I thank you for your time downstairs. Comments that were said to you and your responses was good. And, we know your family, and, your father's a good police officer here. So we have the, appointment tonight of a full-time police officer, Frank A. Lillis, step 1 of the PPA contract. Maximum probation 78 weeks. We also have the chief here, whose recommendation this came forward. Any questions or comments? And if not, a motion would be.
Well, I just have one thing that, I didn't get a chance to speak downstairs, but I've known your dad for a long time. He's always been very professional in what he does. I've been on a couple calls with you already with the ambulance, and you've been very professional. So I definitely think you'll be walking in your father's steps, so you got my support.
Thank you.
May I have a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion that we hire Frank Lillis Jr., step 1, full-time officer.
Second.
May I have roll call?
Trustee Alward,
Absolutely.
trustee Livesey,
Aye.
trustee Ramus,
Aye.
trustee Murphy,
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye. Come on. Chief, thanks. He's all set to go?
And just get a
Welcome.
quick photo of you two, doing that little handshake.
Glad you're here. One more.
Thank you, board. Thank you, Mayor.
All the time, it's more and more. You know, that's the problem. It's terrible.
Okay, yep. See you later.
Okay, next, Next on the agenda, we have a part-time police officer's resignation, Clifford Weeks, effective the 13th of October 2017. You have that before you to accept.
Motion to accept his resignation.
Motion by trustee Murphy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have another resignation in the police department under the dispatching unit of Justin Lee, effective October the 10th, 2017. You have that before you to accept through a motion.
How's this gonna handle with the dispatch now? That's two.
Kenny's just left here, so I don't know that I can answer
Well, make a motion.
that. Motion by trustee Livesey to accept the resignation of part-time dispatcher Justin Lee. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Bear with me on this because I have to go through this. We have some end of the year transfers. Where you have before you on the first sheet, those are line items that went over. Somewhat, but good news is that the amount that we went over is in the budget. It's just under different categories, so with transferring around, it's not new money that we're going to use to set these line items correct.
Share.
I think it's gonna be right after that. Right after that one. There you go. Okay, so, in the mayor's, salary line, 60 cents. The mayor's contractual, $545.89. In the clerk's salary, $11,881.52. A lot of that, most of that was, the deputy clerk who resigned was owed this money from, vacation. Our TV producer, director, in the back here, salary's $50. Village attorney, contractual, $40,297.87. Contractual, essential garage salaries, $411.46. Technical support, $74.94. Judgment and claims, $5,213.56. Central communication, $9,811.59. Police services overtime, $28,922.89. Police equipment, $8,751.85. Fire department, $8,273.37. Fire department insurance, $1,365. Safety inspection, $3,670. Registrar, salary, $620. Street administration, $600. Senior citizens, contractual, $1,201.36. Planning, services, $40. And debt services interest for a 2016 bond, $2,011.05. That's a total of $123,742.95. Now, that same amount, we're taking out of A3120.0100, police personnel, which is salaries, exact same amount, $123,742.95. These are necessary from the treasurer to complete and submit an audit to the state comptroller on time. If I could have a motion,
This overtime, do we have a shortage of coverage, is that what that is?
in which one, Brian?
The police service overtime? It's $28,922.89.
Yes. yes.
So, do we have we have difficulty with the part-timers filling in?
Yeah, and that's why this full-time hire was equally important to help stabilize that, so we can manage the shift coverage better.
Thanks.
And so it's all coming out of a police personal services line to cover the costs in all of these other departments?
The money is within the budget already, it's just transferring from one line to another line to cover these overruns.
No, and I understand that, so it's coming out of the it's coming out of a police
Yes,
line
yes.
to cover all these other lines.
Correct.
Okay.
Just to clarify too, Jim, it's all A fund. It's all,
Okay.
Is there a motion to make the transfers to correct these line items?
I'll make a motion that we transfer out of the one fund to cover the costs.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Second page, sewer fund. Sewer plant salary, $1,191.84. Sewer plant overtime, $5,442.38. Sewer plant equipment, $387.56. Sewer plant contractual, $20,474.90. Social Security / Medicare, $934. Hospital and medical, dental, $1,551.70. You have the total there of those line items, $29,982.38. That same amount, again, as we did previous page, will come, we will decrease in the sewer budget, the next two lines, contingency and workman's comp, that add up to $29,982.38 to cover those costs within the budget.
So, Mr. Mayor, this is an intra-fund transfer.
Yeah. That's the only good news, it's there. It wasn't spent for what it was put in for, so thank God it's there.
Just a clarification on my end. When it says sewer plant contractual $20,000, is that just the overage? So contractual was much higher than
That's correct.
that. Okay, so these are just
what
They're the amounts
above
that,
and beyond.
that's correct. That's correct. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second,
Second by trustee Murphy, all in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, the third and last one is the water fund. We have to increase the water administration overtime by $31,932.16. Same amount, the same department, water fund, decrease contingency by $31,932.16.
I will move that one.
Do you want this, Liz? Do you need this?
I have-
Oh, you have it, okay.
Thank you.
Did you, I'm sorry,
I'll
motion
make
by
the
trustee
motion.
Murphy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
Mhm.
now, with these transfers, have we finalized last year? Nothing more is coming in? We shut the books?
I never like to, I think yes, that's correct.
Okay,
yeah,
As-
the AUD has been filed with the state.
okay,
Okay,
happy to
so,
hear.
yeah, it's over. That, so everyone knows, that was, all those numbers were for 16-17 budget. We're now in 17, 18, just to make reference to where it's, what budget year. Thank you. Okay, next we have a resolution requesting resolution requesting real property tax exemption of the village-owned water supply property, and this is with the county. It's the exact same resolution every year for a very long time. Nothing has changed, except this will be for the calendar year 2019. The county they get ready, so they're that far out for us to ask them to exempt us from taxes, county taxes for Bog Meadow. So this would be sent to the county. I'm sure that we will get it, word back through a letter that we are exempt for the fiscal year, calendar year 2019. County calendar year. Just need a motion to have this resolution sent to the county.
Motion.
You have a question? You have a question?
No.
Okay, motion by trustee Howard, second by trustee Ramus. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Alward.
Aye.
Trustee Livesey.
Aye.
Trustee Ramus.
Aye.
Trustee Murphy.
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye. Thank you.
Can you send a copy to the school?
Might need different language. Okay, next on the agenda is the charging station that we've been talking about now, to authorize the mayor to sign necessary documents for the installation of a charging station. And so what you would be authorizing me is the number one right there, it's dated, this is a letter from the village. Next is the host agreement. We've talked about this for quite a while. You have that. And,
Just the question is, how again is this going to, did they say it's a credit card that you put in there, or?
I don't
I'm
think
not
so.
sure, yeah, I'm not sure how
the,
that.
the,
You have an electric car or had
I
one in
had
the past?
an electric car, and there are different ways to do it, but I paid into a charge point, which is, I think, the same vendor you're talking about. And it was automatically replenished every month from my regular credit card. And when I would go to a charging station, I would plug that card in, and I would be authorized, and then it would charge my credit card.
Who does the homework on the credit card though?
Well,
Does that go mailed into the village, or is there a contractor that?
Well, ChargePoint, I believe, does it and then sends the information
To the village?
The village. But the village would have to set any additional fees that you would want to charge for the electricity, like any other.
And
parking
what does
meter.
ChargePoint cost?
I-
The
I-
agency that does this, we don't know.
I think it was in the materials that
Oh,
were
okay.
sent out.
so
Detailed.
if we do this, these two things, all these other issues or not
Yeah,
issues
they'll
can come up.
welcome it. I'll make a motion.
You sent us information on
Yes,
all
I-
that, so
I
I'm just-
did-
I'm
that really wasn't for tonight, but
I did
But yeah.
modify the local law for you to look at. You can set a policy for charging back and.
how much, everything. So there's just homework to be done. Okay.
If I may, so we revised number 6, correct? Because there was issues with number 6. Was the network access, if you recall? Remember, that's the only one in the first packet that we got? I believe it was number 6, right?
There you have it on
Yeah.
there, such as billing services, the site owner. Yeah.
Then the people from the state, Jim told me you put in, you wanted that we have the right to charge. That wasn't originally in there, it was one of
Correct.
the changes.
Right.
Right,
Number
so,
6.
Yes. So that's in there now, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what.
The only other changes I talked to them about, she had an address, which I don't know where she came up with the number on Main Street, but we instead put that it's the section block and lot of the municipal lot number 2. So that
Okay.
was changed in the heading. They were the only two changes in the documents.
Okay.
I
Just
made a
wanna
couple
make
of
some-
corrections with her on the third page for the design package for the same thing. Make sure the address read the same as the host agreement with the section block and lot, municipal lot 2. They had spelled mayor's name wrong, I got that on there correct. So there was the two little things that were changed. Everything else is the same.
Okay.
Does West Point have this on post, what it is? No?
The telephone number is still wrong.
Well, that was me too, typo.
Okay, and
That
just
would
to
be
make
correct.
note, there's a $2,500
West Point doesn't.
cost. But I would, as a second motion, if you agree to let me sign these two documents, the second motion would be NYSERDA, because we're a solar community, has given us $2,500, given, which is very unusual from the state, but I will say it was given, and therefore, it was received today. And so I would, as a motion, recommend that that $2,500 pay for this $2,500. So, we can get, we'll get rid of this thing now. So I need a motion to assign,
I already made a motion.
Yeah, it was a second.
okay,
For all three documents. Joe mentioned two, but there's the three documents.
oh, the installation design, correct. So, the motion should be I need authorization to sign a letter, I need an authorization to sign the host agreement, which you have there, and also I will, by my signature, approve the installation design package. Okay,
We have to motion separately or just one motion?
No,
Those-
that'll all be in it.
those three can go together.
My
Mo-
motion stands.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Okay, the next motion would be for the $2,500 that we received from NYSERDA, be authorized to go towards this $2,500 that's required.
I make a motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Okay, next we have the Restore New York Grant Round 5. Now, just to make clarification, we're involved in 4, which is the $500,000 to sandblast some of these buildings on Main Street, which should start hopefully in the spring. But now, Round 5 has come up. So Barbara, take a couple of minutes and tell us what you would like.
Before Barbara starts that, I think Barbara was largely responsible for that $2,500 solar offset for the charging station.
Yes, so
Good
the
job.
Highland Falls Economic Development Corporation is really pleased about that, so thank you to the board.
Thank you.
And to answer trustee Livesey's question, West Point does not have it. And actually, they sent the request originally to the EDC and to the chamber because they want it.
Oh,
And
okay,
it will
great.
help them a lot, and of course, it will help our businesses a lot. And people can Google, and hopefully it'll get set up and come help our businesses with it. So if this one works, they're ready to give us more, but, I think the mutual decision was, let's start with 2. So anyway, thank you for that. And I am so pleased about our grant opportunities, and just a segue is that the state is in the move right now to give villages money, and I mean give villages money. It's really part of the governor's commitment, and the legislature, of course, too, to revitalize local economies and communities. And they want to revitalize the communities by helping small communities and big communities rebrand and reinvent ourselves for this century. So that's why these grants are coming our way. And as the mayor just said, we have the $500,000 Restore New York Communities grant that we've already received. And I'm so pleased, a little over 2 weeks ago, I was personally invited by the person whose name is on the Restore New York grant materials, Molly Bauer. She's at one of the top honchos at Empire State Development Corporation, invited me to come to Hempstead, Long Island, to a workshop. I spoke with her personally about the uniqueness of our village, what our challenges are, where our potential is, so it's just great to have somebody that really is listening to us. Anyway, with the Restore New York grant, this new one is for up to $1 million. The one we have is up to $500,000, so we've doubled our opportunity here. And we are in a good chance to get it because we did so well. Well, we're already in a good chance, but our chances are increased twofold again because we applied for the Downtown Revitalization Grant in May, and we did extremely well. We were one of the top competitors for it. So this will give us extra attention when our Restore New York grant goes to Albany. They don't technically tell you you're getting extra points, but somehow it kind of helps bring you to the top of the stack. So we are in a great, great position. The application itself right now is being revised. They're making some fine tuning to it, and it will be available for the village to look at and for us to consider the best way to do the application. Olga Anderson and I from the Economic Development Corporation stand ready to be the worker bees like we were on the last one, so we can get this done. And for the residents, I would just like to say that this money, although it can go to building owners and businesses, it's not just the state giving property owners money, building owners money. It's money that we in this community have paid as tax dollars to the state. It's coming back to us to hopefully revitalize our buildings, which will attract businesses and will help bring tourists and sales tax dollars here. So it's a way to get that tax money back to us and hopefully be able to repeat itself and be successful for really generations to come. So don't think of it as just, oh, tax money, why are they giving it to businesses? So let's see, what else can I say? We have put in, the letter of intent was required. If I have, it will probably take me 2 minutes to read this, will give you an idea. Right now, we've listed 15 possible properties and for the $1 million, so it's gonna be a choice of they might not all qualify. Then do you want to reduce the number and do more work for fewer buildings or less work for more buildings? But there's a long way to go in terms of do buildings qualify and this and that. But here's what we have so far. It's called a letter of intent. The application itself is due December 3rd. Before I say that, maybe I should say that certain steps between now and December 3rd need to be taken. There will need to be a municipal resolution by the board after it considers to go ahead and make an application. With the application, there's a $500 non-refundable fee. There is a 10% match required by the village because as the state has explained it to me, they want to know that a community will invest in itself. They want to know that the community is a stakeholder in what's happening. So hopefully we can qualify for that in-kind match, and the amount of money we apply for could be adjusted based on what we can do.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
So you said there's 10% that the village would be responsible for.
Mhm.
Is there a possibility that these 15 building owners could be responsible for that money?
It
That
isn't
percentage.
really designed that way.
But we don't know if they can or if we could ask that.
Correct.
It does demonstrate buy-in by the community, even though it's, I can see maybe a 50-50 breakout where private property owners who are benefiting tremendously would chip in part of the match, and then part of the match could be in-kind service, because I'm sure village resources will come into play. But as we've encountered before, especially with the tax cap, coming up
Oh,
with
I know.
a major chunk of change for a match is going to put us over the cap.
Yeah. So there are choices. That's a question we can ask. We don't have to ask for $1 million if it's not possible. I even thought of the EDC doing fundraising. I don't know how far that would get. But that is a question to ask. I know that it's not quite how it's designed, but we just have to see if that's possible. It's definitely a question to ask. Yeah, it's a total, well, and there again, another thing we would have to look at is some building owners might have money to help, and some building owners might be strapped, just like the village is, and not be able to. So then where do you decide? But the mayor will keep me in line on time, so let me make sure I have said everything I must say in terms of.
The deadline is December 3,
3, yes.
so we have time for the board and you to talk.
Yes,
We're
absolutely.
not committed at this point from anything that we sent in.
Yes, we do not even have to apply. We will need to have a public hearing, proof of publication in the newspaper of what we're doing.
Before December 3.
Before, yes, and hopefully Gina would help with the timelines on when we need to schedule all this sort of.
Yeah, well, okay, so, but where I'm going with my comment is that the board and you and anyone else that we think would be able to give us information to digest, to make a decision. Before that money is spent, even that money,
Yes,
I want to find out,
yes.
okay?
Okay.
And we have a little time, I understand not a lot of time, but some time.
Yeah, just these, I know from working with Gina before that some things have to be scheduled before others. So, yes, I would love to have a conversation so we make sure everything is on track. And I will ask that one question. At this point, let me just finish this will take 2 minutes. Here's what we have so far. A very general statement that obligates us to nothing but gets us in the door. This project will restore, rehabilitate, demolish, reconstruct, or repurpose vacant commercial, mixed-use, and residential buildings according to our 2009 Village Comprehensive Plan to restore the buildings to original 1900s architecture. Our charming walkable village of less than 1 square mile and a population of 3,900 has a strong sense of community. This project will help revitalizing local economy and increasing our tax base by making our Main Street and strategic catchment area ready for successful business investment, not-for-profit community service, and culture. We will therefore attract new residents to live, work, and play here in easy access to but isolated from urban sprawl. This grant will promote our historic culture and richness, natural beauty, and station as the gateway host community to West Point. Federal and state land usage has removed 94% of our land from taxable rolls. Round 5, Restore New York, will be a key catalyst here.
Thank you, Barbara, thank you.
Once again, thank you for all the work you've done.
Absolutely.
And
Exciting.
those grant applications
It's
are a lot of
exciting.
labor.
I guess my motto lately is I want our village to survive and thrive.
So I'll figure out sometime when we can all meet and, downstairs around the table and talk about this.
Yes.
Yeah,
quickly, Mr. Mayor, so do you need an authorization for the mayor to sign?
Yes, I'm
the
gonna,
letter
yeah,
of
I'm gonna do that now,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you. And so we'll come back to this as, see how far we wanna go, and it's actually good, even though I want $1 million, but if it can be less, our share would be less, the taxpayer's share would be less.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that.
And doing this will help us go for 10 million again next year.
We're gonna get to 10 million. We're gonna get to 10 million. So could the board authorize me to sign a letter of intent? It just makes it go to the next step.
I'll move that we authorize the mayor to sign a letter of intent.
Motion by trustee, thank you. Motion by trustee Murphy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Okay, next, we're getting to the end. Next, we have, let's see, we have a trunk or treat. This is something interesting, where, I think this is where they go to the parking lot, folks do, we all could. You open your trunk, leave it open, there's goodies in there, for Halloween, folks, and, this is being sponsored by the Girl Scouts of Highland Falls and Fort Montgomery. They did provide insurance. We have everything in place that let this happen, so we'll just need a motion.
Oh, this is a great event,
Yeah, something, it's interesting.
and people decorate their trunks.
And people, that's right,
Yeah.
people decorate their trunks, so.
I will love to move this motion.
Okay. So it's on Halloween, October 31, parking lot across from
Second.
Sacred Heart, 3:30 to 4. So it's not a long time, but you'll have a lot of children because there's gonna be a parade.
So I got one thing to say, figures, right? So I'm still a little old school, and if you go up by my house, you'll see that we still decorate. So let's always remember that door knocking thing
Yeah.
is a good traditional thing. Be safe out there, I mean, be safe, but a lot of communities that I've been up and down, I won't mention any names, a lot of homes still decorate. I think I always think that's a nice traditional thing for the families to go around though and knock on some doors, and that's the real trick or treating to me. But this is a great event too.
I
Don't
think-
get me wrong.
I think the time of 3:30 to 4
Yeah.
o'clock, it's the parade
Right.
starts at
Yeah.
Memorial Park.
Allows you to go back home and answer those. Okay, it's a good point.
That's what I was gonna point out, I think the time they meant for the parade, it probably starts at 4 to,
Starts down at Memorial Park, goes up to that
but at
parking
4
lot,
they'll start
and then
doing,
give them all the treats.
See, then the kids could eat all that candy and then go back out again.
Get them all sugared up.
Get them all sugared up,
Chocolate.
then they can stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Can I have a motion?
I have.
Motion by
Motion.
trustee
Yeah.
Murphy,
I'll second.
second by trustee Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. We have bills and claims for this year, fiscal year 17-18 of $43,867.48. I have a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so just before I do the board, I want to recognize our county legislator trustee, used to be trustee, Jim DeSalvo. Jim, I don't want to put you on the spot because I can do it, but do you want to say anything about the grant that you have gotten us through Senator Larkin? Or if you do, would you get up? If not, I can do it.
Yeah, just preliminary, there's something, was working on with the mayor, and Senator Larkin's office, for a new section of sidewalks, for the village. It's roughly, $200,000. We've worked with the engineering firm for the village, submitted some, specs that, was required, that Albany needed to see for the grant. They have all that paperwork. We are going to get the money. It's it's just a question of timing. So I think it came to almost 2,000 square foot of, or linear feet, however they measure it, linear feet of sidewalk, which to put in perspective would be like, say, from Mountain Avenue to Perry Avenue.
Well, let's do it a little different way. Let's say exactly where it is going to go. It's going to go from Thayer Gate, Deli, Thayer Gate, to Cousins Avenue. So the north end will have all new sidewalks.
And it includes,
And curbs.
when you cross the street from street to street, they do this in Goshen, I've seen it in Warwick, where they redo the walkway. And it's blacktop, but they stamp it.
Stamp
It
it,
looks like brick, and they'll stain it like a red color, and then they'll put the 2 white lines. So it dresses things up nicely, and,
It's part of our plan.
yeah.
Thank you. Before you got here, we're going to give the county a resolution to exempt us from taxes for Bog Meadow.
Yeah. I've sat on the legislature for 4 years, and we've always passed that exemption. And real quick, while we're on sidewalks, I spoke to Rich Mayfield, who's the Commissioner of Community Development, and he said that our application, or the village's application for the, I guess, the southern part of the village, looked promising, and felt very confident that we were going to get the full 150 for that project as well.
Again, sidewalks.
More sidewalks.
Great. Thank you, Jim. Any questions from the board? You wanna go home?
Okay.
Something on TV? What's on TV tonight, Mary?
Yankee game on
Yankees.
Dancing
TV
with the
tonight.
Stars.
Huh? Dancing with the Stars or baseball?
Baseball.
Okay, my last thing is, there's an announcement here, you've all seen it. The Highland Falls Fort Montgomery Central School District is going to have a 30-minute film entitled Breaking Points. It's a film that explores the stress and pressure teenagers face every day, and it probably will show us the unhealthy ways that they cope with that. There'll be a panel of questions and answers that follow the film. So this is, we've talked about drugs and pills and other stuff here many, many times, so this is exciting to have right here. So it's going to be Thursday, October the 26th, which I think is next Thursday at 6:30 at the Highland Falls Intermediate School on Mountain Avenue. So please try to attend. It's a half-hour film, questions and answers. Mr. Howard.
Yeah, I got some questions asked about the youngsters who ran away. So I met with Chief Scott, and we discussed and viewed the policy. Question came up about Amber Alert. Police departments do not set up Amber Alert. It goes through a clearinghouse. Town police were notified. School district was notified. Parents were notified. One of the questions, Chief Scott, that I get asked, someone asked me, if you notify about bear warnings in sewer, brown water, if it comes up, every time someone runs away, doesn't mean that the alert goes out. Is that not true?
That's correct. Unless there's some mitigating circumstances where they might be elderly and on medication where they wandered off. Anything with their safety, that's why we do the bears, for public safety.
Right.
This particular incident, these kids, there was more to the occurrences that the public didn't know, and there was really no need to put out an e-alert. We did put something on the PBA's Facebook page, though.
Right, and all the counties were also notified.
Yeah, the whole
Parents
state,
notified, school
and we went to the
meetings.
tri-state area also.
Right, tri-state, and the protocol was followed all the way down. Thank you.
Just to add to that, which I'm glad that you brought that up, but because protocol was followed, is exactly how they were found.
Absolutely.
So that's the good part.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Merv?
Well, just a couple things. There's, as we know, a committee right now that's working on Road Park right now, Charlie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plans that I've heard about that, which are great plans for the pool and the basketball courts and a few other things up there, and that's moving forward, which is a great thing for everybody. Because that pool especially desperately needs some help up there. Another thing I just want to bring out, because a lot has been said to me, and Brian, you are the police commissioner. It's getting dark early, and we gotta watch out of something on these back roads, and that's the children. And there's a lot of people speeding in this community. And I have the chief over here right now, and there's a lot of people getting nervous about that. And I see it for myself a lot of times, when I go down by the park or on a lot of these roads, I'm hearing that they're just flying around, and that's gotta stop, because we don't want these kids to get hit.
You know, Merv, you're right. It's probably the most complaint that I get is speeding. And I will tell you something that's interesting. A few years ago, the police department set up an area on a couple streets where a lot of complaints were coming in. The bottom line is, it turned out to be 9 out of 10 people that live on that street,
Right.
which,
And the other thing is, I just want to put out there, though, that they're out there flying around, but the police can't be there, they can't be everywhere at the same time, and that creates the problem. So I guess this is a reach out to the community, just slow it down, you know? That's the best thing to do out there. Speaking for the ambulance corps, is the big fall foliage that's coming up, and I know Marty and her gang down there, they work very, very hard on this every year, so people need to get out there and support the fall foliage. That's a great event, that's gonna happen. The school vote is tomorrow night, people gotta think about that. Gotta think about the children of the community. That's about it.
Good.
Oh, me? Well, dovetailing on what Merv talked about, the committee that is designing a plan for Road Park that would utilize a state grant that Assemblyman Skoufis has secured. Right now, to give you all a heads up, it's looking like we're going to be considering resurfacing for the pool so it doesn't leak anymore, fixing up the bathrooms, some kind of furniture and possibly a pergola, something to provide some shade up at the pool area. And then also fixing the basketball court, which apparently is one of the most used portions of Roe Park, and apparently it is in terrible condition. So I do think that that's going to rise to the top of
It's in big need.
what we asked for. But again, this will involve the village board mightily, because the committee was discussing having lights put on the basketball court and extending the hour. Right now, we're dawn to dusk. This is nothing we have to grapple with right now, but just keep that in the back of your mind, that this might be something that will be approached about. That's all I've got to report on the park plans. I did want to make a quick note that we have a report from the building department. The work going on within the village has included 94 physical inspections over the last month. There were 60 advisory and violation notices issued, and 4 permit applications were received. So there's a lot of activity going through the building department on behalf of the village. If anyone does have areas that they want to complain about where buildings are concerned, I'd be happy to be the bearer of bad news to the building department. If you don't feel like calling them, call me and I'll talk to them. So that's it.
Barbara, I'm glad to see that, or hear that possibly one of the issues that'll be addressed will be the pool, because if it's not done with this grant money, it'll be done by village money, because it has to be done, so I appreciate that.
Well, that and the surface of the
Yeah.
basketball court are
Yeah.
2 necessities.
Thank you. Jim?
Yeah, I got a couple of things from the wastewater treatment plant. we didn't have any sludge removed this month. There's an issue with the filter press. It was only in operation 4 days. So the manufacturer technician was up, he gave us an adjustment on that. It's something above and beyond what we can do now because of the condition of the belt press. So we definitely need to continue to look into replacing that machine. It's definitely served the village well, and it's outlasted the normal use of it.
Hasn't the engineer been charged to come up with the specs?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't have them with me.
No, no.
And he's still finalizing those. So once we get that, make sure that every one of the board members has that. We'll get it into the box downstairs. There was 40 plus cubic feet of grit and screenings removed by TAM. Other work going on down at the plant this time of the year and throughout the summer is they continue extensive cleaning, painting, things like that. So in the general maintenance of lubing the pumps and the machines, things that they can get done now. And just so everybody knows, the belt press production is down by a lot. Back in 2009, we were doing about 152 ton. Last year, we were down to 113 ton. Now, this year, we only did 32 ton. So, as you can see, the machine can't do what it used to do. So, we really need to look at that. A couple other things, like with the water, I see they were up on South Street. They took care of that. Mary Jane so noted in the paper, which much appreciated for that one hydrant. Bog Meadow is at 66%, and that was as of the end of September, just so everybody knows. And I know there has been a lot of work done by the water department, and I do believe they contacted the leak detection company. So they're gonna come in and find out if there's any leaks out there that can help us out to conserve some water. I think Low Park's a great thing, and I had a question that was asked, and at the beginning of the year, I know Assemblyman Skoufis had mentioned that we were gonna get $125,000 for some sidewalks and streets, and I was wondering if the $125,000 for Roe Park is another $125,000, or you don't know?
I
It's
don't
not,
know.
it's the same 125.
Oh, okay.
Different.
It-
It will be going through DASNY, I know that.
Okay, I was just wondering if you got two, but if you got one, and that's where it's gonna go, then so be it, I was just wondering. That's all
I think it's the same 125, but that's okay. So, what I wanna know is, just excuse me for a second, what I wanna know is, how was the spaghetti dinner
Good,
at the school?
very good.
Did you get one to go?
No,
Thank
sorry.
Okay, so we started hydrant flushing, I think,
This week.
maybe today or tonight.
Last night.
Okay,
Last
so
night.
you're gonna experience groundwater. You might even experience, pressure, water pressure down. So just be aware of that. Now, I am going to keep the board abreast, of the 66%, level at the dam. I'm worried about it. I actually took a picture of the dam, of the reservoir, and for the first time since 1992, above water is the old dam. I have not seen that since 1992. So I'm worried about the water. Before I came to tonight's meeting, some weather reports that I listened to, in the next week, there's no rain. They just went out a week, of course. We know their predictions aren't always correct, but I'm just saying there's no rain forecast in the next week. I've never, in my years here, experienced low reservoir amounts this time of year. It's been a lack of rain that we all know about. So if we get a rainy day or two, don't complain. But again, we're at 66%. We're probably a little lower than that. So if it gets at a certain point, I'm gonna call you all up and notify you that we have to talk about what we can do to conserve, okay? It's not good right now. I was very
I
surprised.
seen a picture today on Facebook, actually.
Yeah.
Roxanne Mann was there.
I was surprised. What you saw there was the old dam,
I know, and that's unbelievable.
and the new dam was much higher than
Yeah.
that. So, that's the report on that. So, is there anything else from anyone?
Go Yankees.
Okay. What, Jim?
I have a public comment. Just as a resident, 20 Villa Parkway. If you're talking about the park, the Bro Park, please move those hideous storage things, please.
Sheds.
Oh my God, I grew up on Walnut and they're just, I would much rather see a couple picnic tables
They
there.
have multiplied.
I know that they store stuff there, but I would much rather see them all in Fickens. There's a bunch of Fickens Field now. Maybe we
But
can,
that's the school.
yeah, but there's, the town stores stuff there too. So we could,
No, that has to be addressed, and I know
maybe we
Charlie
can
has
move
worked
them all over
on it.
there and.
I know Charlie has worked on that, and the other thing that's an eyesore, besides these sheds that are all different sizes, all different colors, is when you look in between each shed, there's tires.
Yeah, there's stuff.
There's just
Oh,
stuff.
you're-
There's stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just.
I know we need the storage, I'm not trying to, I understand that part, but they look there.
What is in the pavilion, that room there in the pavilion? What's in, is there a room?
There's a room, some of it has the boiler and all that kind of stuff, but there's a room in there that has a desk and
It's not
some
very
ball,
big. It's
some
not big.
recreation stuff. No.
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 I was gonna say,
Yeah,
that would-
not at all, actually. Okay,
Sorry, thank
yes.
Mr. Mayor, I have a public comment. There were times where I watched these meetings on Monday, when I can't make it here. And what I noticed is that the sound is very poor, and it's very difficult for me to understand, conversation going on. So I wanted to, anything that could be done to improve the sound, not only for me, but.
No, for everyone. So we have the purchasing agent looking into some type of microphone system that will be compatible and work with our system in the back.
Okay.
So we're working on that,
Wonderful job.
because we know that's an issue. Like, my voice is probably a little louder maybe than Charlie's, or, I'm not saying their voice isn't loud, but
I can
Maybe we'll have
project.
anyway,
I
yeah.
think about
We know that's an issue.
Okay.
Thank you though, thank you. Okay, so Mary Jane can get home and watch the Yankees. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
I'm sorry.
Motion by Merv, second by Brian, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you very much.